Clarence is one of the most underrated kids' cartoons of the 2010s, but there's no doubt it left its mark on kids around the world in its short 3-season lifespan. Even with only 3 seasons, we got a boatload of stuff to cover today. So, without further ado, let's cover the show's history from start to end. So settle down, grab that popcorn, and smash subscribe. It's gonna be a good one. Before we begin, let's get some context. This is Clarence. He's a hyper-optimistic 10-year-old boy who goes to school at Aberdale Elementary, all the way down in Arizona. He also has a tendency to be a bit dim-witted. Clarence has got 2 best friends as well, Sumo and Jeff. Jeff is a brainy germaphobe who's high in intelligence and a bit high on himself as well, while Sumo is, well, he's Sumo, a bald, crazy wildcard of a kid who's as crafty as he is unpredictable. He's also hilarious to watch. There's also a bunch of other characters that we'll get into later down the line. But for now, let's jump into the show with our very first episode, the pilot. This episode shows us Clarence's first day at school after moving into town, as he gives all his classmates invitations to a sleepover at his place, where they'll bust open a mystery piñata. However, one of the students, Belson, isn't keen on the idea, crumples the invitation, and kicks it at Clarence. That is cold. After Clarence's mom says she'll be out for the night, Jeff shows up and introduces himself to Clarence, but he just wants to play along with trivia TV shows. Sumo arrives shortly after, and well, now we know how Sumo went bald. Imagine the first thing you do with a friend is shave their head. That is so strange. Sumo and Clarence try and get Jeff in on some of the fun, but he's put off by their germs more so than anything. The rock music they played did lure Clarence's mom's boyfriend, Chad, out of his room though. He is definitely something else. After a prank phone call to the cops, yeah, that's a great idea, they bust open the piñata, and turns out the mystery was beef. Honestly, I have so many questions. How did they even get them in there? The cops show up to stop a fictional flaming burglar that Sumo talked about on the phone. The boys run from being chased by the bees, and everything goes to chaos. Thankfully though, everyone had fun, even Jeff. In the next episode, Fun Dungeon Face-Off, the boys go to Rough Rider's Chicken, and Jeff is being a bit lame. He only wants the fries, and won't even go into the playground with Sumo and Clarence because of how many germs are crawling in there. Jeff's kids' meal comes with a girl toy too, of course. The guys start pigging out, and when Clarence tries to take one of Jeff's fries, he freaks out. Honestly, Jeff doesn't seem unreasonable here. I mean, look at how filthy that hand is. Jeff goes to the bathroom after making Clarence promise not to take his fries.
I want you to promise me. Make a solemn promise you will not touch my fries.
And right as he does, Clarence does the unthinkable and takes the fries. He only shoves them in his back pocket though, and hopes he can trick Jeff into playing with him. When Jeff realizes his fries are gone, he rushes after Sumo and Clarence, tossing Sumo like it's nothing, and targeting Clarence like he's about to kill the guy. The two get on top of the playground in a pretty dangerous fight, and bring it back to a slide where Clarence fesses up and shows he never ate the fries. Jeff explains he has reasons for not doing things that Clarence will never understand, but realizes just then that he did go into the playground after all. The two shake hands, which is big for Jeff, trust me, and become friends once more. As for Sumo, he ended up making a friend himself, Jeff's girl toy, but tragically, he leaves it at the playground. That's absolutely heartbreaking. In the episode A Pretty Great Day with a Girl, we're introduced to Amy,
Hey, Clarence.
who invites Clarence on a bike ride to find an erratic, which is a rock unlike any other rocks from a certain area. The more you know. They head off to find it, but Belson catches the two riding a bike together and goes to blab about it to his friend Nathan. They tell some other guys and get a gossip train going, and eventually follow Clarence and Amy, who end up discovering the erratic. Amy tells Clarence she may be moving next year and doesn't know which parent she'll be with. And so Clarence tells her he had a time where he didn't have a dad, but now he is Chad, who, yeah, is apparently Clarence's kinda stepdad. The other boys show up and try and claim the rock for their own, with Belson and everyone else jealous of Clarence for hanging out with a girl. Amy has to head home, and so the Pinecone War is over.
See you guys later. Thanks for the battle.
And the boys share sandwiches to close the episode out. Pretty fun one. Don't know how Sumo manages to show up considering nobody even talked to him about the girl scenario, but whatever. Sumo's awesome and deserves a sandwich. In the episode Clarence's Millions, we see a bit more of Aberdale Elementary, and in particular, how Miss Baker's class works. As a reward system for the class, Miss Baker uses buddy stars to punish and reward people. Clarence and Sumo have bad numbers, while Jeff has the most stars in the class. After noticing that they make his classmates sad, Clarence makes his own system to replace buddy stars, and creates Clarence dollars, which he's not afraid to hand out willy-nilly, at least until Jeff talks him out of the idea entirely. Sumo takes the excess dollars and distributes them the next day though, and so Clarence's dream finally becomes a reality.
Nothing like going for a morning swim.
With Buddy Star's strict rules being replaced by the leniency of Clarence dollars. The next day though, Clarence wakes up to find the school has gone rabid for the dollars. And so Jeff convinces Clarence to flood the market and devalue the dollar to the point where it's useless. And lo and behold, it works. Chad ends up with all the money too, which was traded for freeze pops by Sumo. Pretty good investment there. In the next episode, we meet Ashley, another classmate of Clarence. She's peer pressured by her friends to ask Clarence out.
Hey, Clarence.
What?
Do you want to be my boyfriend?
And Clarence awkwardly accepts, and so it seems Clarence has a girlfriend now.
So I guess I have a girlfriend now.
What?
Sumo decides to help Clarence prepare for his date by getting him some clothes at the thrift store, while Jeff slinks around stocking them because he's so jealous. The two force Jeff to try and make Clarence interesting for his date too.
It says I need to download a plugin.
No, click no.
Yes.
Yeah, after whatever that was, Jeff hands Clarence some icebreakers and he's off for his date. He meets Ashley at a pizza place and goes a bit overboard for her first date. And eventually, Ashley admits she was uncomfortable with the idea to begin with. And so, the two decide to just be friends and go catch frogs beyond the school. See, that is a real date idea. In the episode Dinner Party, Clarence and his parents head over to his friend Breen's house for a dinner party. The kids get their own table, and after they're done eating, they explore the house.
All right, pack your things, gentlemen. We got some exploring to do.
But the attic is off limits. The kids and Chad, who's basically a kid, all explore the basement, and eventually decide to check out the attic, which they instantly fall through. Sumo's dad figures out a way to make sure nobody but Breen's family themselves pay for it due to threats of legal action.
I don't know. Looks like some faulty construction there, Walt.
And everyone is happy, because apparently Breen's family are a bunch of jerks. Also, in the previous episode, Jeff's New Toy, we find out that Jeff's last name is Randall, in the title card of all places. It's on the return label of the box in a blank, and you'll miss it sort of thing. Also, another detail. When Jeff goes to get Sumo in the middle of the night, Sumo punches him right as he wakes up.
Sumo, it's you.
It seems trivial, but there's a payoff, I promise. In the episode Zoo, Clarence's class goes on a field trip to, you guessed it, the zoo. And Clarence's travel buddy is Belson. They have a worksheet to do for the class and a strict schedule to follow, but Belson just doesn't care whatsoever. So he and Clarence walk off to go on their own adventure. Breen has an allergic reaction to a peanut butter sandwich, and so the trip ends early. But Belson and Clarence are left behind because they separated earlier. When Clarence, concerned with how Belson has been negative the whole time, asks him of something he actually likes, he says dolphins. And so the two head off to search for them. They find them, and the two actually bond and become buddies for a moment, before they're caught by a night guard and are picked up by Miss Baker.
He did it! I don't know the guy! He did everything! I didn't want to come here!
In the episode Dreamboat, Sumo gets detention and is referred to as Mr. Sumowski by a teacher named Mr. Reese. So what's Sumo's real name then?
Change has to start with you, Mr. Samowski.
We then learn more about Sumo's family life, and with him living in a trailer with a pretty packed family, he's got a ton of brothers, and so doesn't get much attention. And when he realizes his dad wants a boat, Sumo decides to make one for him himself. He works tirelessly, and even shrugs off his friends to get the job done. But when he finally snaps and realizes he can't do it himself, he lets Clarence and Jeff in on the project.
Hello?
I made it sound like we were having so much fun.
I am having fun.
They complete the boat and set sail, and even float for a few seconds before it sinks. That's unfortunate. Luckily, Sumo's dad helps the guys get it out of the water, and he actually was able to bond with Sumo over the experience. That's such a sweet one, honestly. In the episode Nature Clarence, the boys, alongside Percy, the little kid who you may have noticed in a few episodes now, go on a hike to find a hot spring. And someone named Nature Kate, who isn't a fan of this guy Joshua, who's supposedly her boyfriend. A lot of names, I know. Sumo runs off, and the others are left to walk back to where they started. They find some shelter, complete with a hot tub, but Josh nearly falls off a cliff.
If you just believe in nature, then nature will...
Nature Kate and Sumo arrive and save everyone, and Josh decides he's more cut out for grocery stores than Nature, and the two break up. Josh is an interesting character. He gets mauled by a goat. That's fun. In Average Jeff, we start off with Jeff's morning routine, which is a callback to American Psycho of all things.
I stay on routine, on schedule.
Good lord. I never quite connected the dots between Jeff and Patrick Bateman, but here we are. Oh, also, his last name of Randall is confirmed in this one by Jeff himself. It wasn't just some dumb detail like many may think. Anywho, Miss Baker's class gets the results of their standardized tests back, with groups being set up between those who did well and those who didn't. Turns out, Jeff didn't do well, and he won't believe it. He's super unhappy in the other class, which is run by Miss Shoup, and tries to get Miss Baker to let him take the test again. But it's out of her control anyway, and so he heads back to the other class, where he finally snaps. He sneaks in while looking deranged, and just acts like he's always been there, before he's dragged out by Mr. Reese. He has an utterly crazy dream, but wakes up to find the binder that has the standardized test scores. We can see Clarence scored the lowest, with Sumo actually scoring a decent bit higher than him. Breen and Chelsea have the highest scores, and right in the middle is Jeff, who's perfectly average, which he's actually happy with. Too bad they go back to normal by the end of it all. Well, almost normal.
You best keep on moving.
In the episode Too Gross for Comfort, we get to know Chelsea, another classmate of Clarence's who's been in the background of a few episodes. Clarence brings her over to the guy's treehouse, aka the Guy Scraper. That's an excellent name. And so the others try and come up with the grossest thing possible to scare her away, with Sumo being the head of the whole campaign. They try a bunch of increasingly weird tactics, but Chelsea manages to get through each one with no challenge. The guys then start telling stories to gross her out, but nothing works. Even Sumo's story doesn't faze her, but Chelsea's story doesn't faze Sumo either, and so they keep trying to one-up each other until they kiss, grossing everyone out, including themselves once they come to the realization of what just happened. What a weird one. In the next episode, we actually get to see what the guys look like while they're super old. They're reminiscing about when they first met, and so they basically just recap the pilot episode. This time, though, there's an added piñata song, and it's a certified classic, let me tell ya. The episode ends off with the revelation that none of the guys have their legs anymore. That's a weird detail. And they live in the same world as the Jetsons, which is even weirder. What goes on in the future? In the episode Patience, Clarence and his mom head to the doctor's office, where we learn their last name is Wendell. Other than that tidbit, this episode is typical Clarence affair. He wants candy, but his mom says he can only have it after the doctor's appointment if he behaves. He tries to entertain himself while waiting and honestly goes insane in the process. He imagines himself in a candy world, where he meets a bunch of candy people who teach him to melt. Yeah, I have no explanation. Clarence, as a little girl, gives him her candy, but then decides to whine about it. Her mom gets angry, the candy is taken away. Clarence tries to steal the jar, but breaks it, and yoinks some candy as his mom, who apparently is mad that she can't get in to see anyone, drags him out. In the episode Rough Riders Elementary, the guys try a new sauce from Rough Riders, but Clarence isn't a fan. Remember the fast food place from the second episode? That's Rough Riders. That's not the only thing Rough Riders has going on that's bad, though, as it seems they're taking over the school. Oh, and Josh is the spokesperson for Rough Riders.
And my close personal friend,
Joshua.
And yeesh, that goat did a number on him. Clarence is a fan of the food place sponsoring the school at first, but notices something is off when Josh refers to the school as Rough Riders Elementary instead of Aberdale Elementary. Did he not notice how class subjects are all food-related now? Or the literal brainwashed students? Also, we finally learn Sumo's real name, which is, drumroll please, Ryan. Just Ryan. Ryan Samowski. Okay. Clarence figures out the school is being turned into an actual Rough Riders restaurant, and the way they're controlling everyone is the sauce, which, remember, Clarence doesn't like. Clarence saves Sumo before he's indoctrinated into some Rough Riders cult and escape the school, right before Nature Kate and some other action heroes show up and blow up the school. So yeah, this was all just a class presentation by Clarence to explain why he likes Rough Riders so much. The Ryan Samowski thing is canon though, so at least we learned that. In the episode Nothing Ventured, Mr. Samowski and Chad decide to start a business together, and Sumo and Clarence want to invest in it so they can make money, but realize they actually need to make money to invest first.
Chad, sour cream and onion ice cream. Chad, sour cream and onion keyboard.